Hi, I'm Larry Puckett. Today I've just got two things that I want to finish here. One, I want to get these leg braces installed so that we've got a good sturdy base. And then I'm going to install wheels because it makes it so much easier to be able to just wheel this module around the basement here. And anywhere that you go that you have a good smooth floor like concrete or wood or tile, whatever, you'll be able to move these things around without any problems at all. And that's something that's really handy to have, particularly if you're at a show somewhere and you need to move your modules around. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hit that little red subscribe button, and when the little bell comes up, click on it and click all. Let me pull the camera in here closer and down. Now what I've done here is I've got two 1x3s, and they're exactly 25.5 inches long. The same thing as the ends here for the modules. So that way the legs are going to be spread the same distance. So it's going to make a much more stable platform. That way, no matter whether the module is being moved sideways or fore and aft, we're going to have a good stable bracing system between these two, what I call spreaders, and the 45-degree angle braces that I installed in the last video. So for that, I've already clamped them up. I've got them sitting so that they're flush on all sides here. And so I'm going to go ahead and shoot in a couple of screws on each side, and then I'll take the clamp off and we'll finish that off and move on to the lower one. And then I'll repeat that for this other leg behind me. Okay, I've got my drill with the countersinking bit, so let's just punch a quick hole. We'll pop in a screw. Then I want to do that on the other side here. Now I've already checked, and the heads of these, or the tips of these screws do overlap just a touch, but I'm offsetting them just enough, I think. Yep, they're offset just enough so that they're not going to interfere with one another. Okay, so that's done. Now I can take the clamp off and do a screw up here and come over to the other side and finish it off. Okay, so that's good and stable. Now I'm going to work on this one down here. Okay, let's get the lower one done here. For that, I'm going to need to move this clamp back just a hair out of the way. Oops, and it moved on me, so I've got to pull it back into position. I have a little mallet here that I can use to tap gently to get these things down where I want them. There, that one. And I'm just feeling this with my fingers so we get a good joint there. Now I'll go around to the other side and get that one done. It's also helpful to have one of these roll-around stools here. And we'll punch this one in. Remove the clamp and drill another one. Okay, that's good and smooth. And come back around here and finish off. There we go. Everything countersunk, nice and smooth and even. And it's important that you get these even because the wheels are going to be attached to the bottom of this. So if it's not even, then your module's not going to be even and your wheels are going to not be even. And that's going to be a complication later on. I'm going to go ahead and pull on over to the other side and get that side done as well. Okay, so I've got the last hole drilled and ready to insert the last screw here. Okay, so again, spreads it, gives it a nice stable platform. So next, we want to work on installing the wheels. But in order to get these in properly, it requires something else be installed first. What I have here is just a little 6-inch piece of 2x2. And it's going to go in here. And I'll show you why in just a second. it's important to get this perfectly flush here. So I'm just going to run this other piece of 2x2 on the outside to make sure that it's even with the outside. Why am I doing this? Well, let me bring you in here closer and I'll show you. Now, for installing these rollers, they have a mounting plate here with 4 holes for screws. Now, the thing is, if you try to mount it like that, it's not going to work because you don't have enough distance here to bite into any wood, especially when you get down on this section. What you can do, though, is by turning it 90 degrees, you get a good overlap here and here and here. However, there still is nothing down here. So by installing a block of wood to sit right in the center here, that's going to give me a nice platform where I can screw in the base. So that's why I have to put these in. Okay, let's go ahead and get them in, and it's again just a simple matter of drilling and inserting screws. So I'll get a pile of screws out here and get ready, and we'll go ahead and do this one. Okay, I'm going to go around to the other side, get the screws in there, do one up here, and do 2 on the other leg. So I'll be back when I've got it just about done. Okay, time to do the last one. I've already drilled the holes. And that's it. Now we can do the wheels. I'm ready to start installing the wheels, but before I do, I have one tip for you. The first thing you want to do is install the upper wheel first. And the reason for that is if you install the lower wheel first and then start drilling holes up here, you're going to generate sawdust and it's going to fall down and it's going to get into your ball bearings that are down here in the base. And it's going to mess up those balls, it's going to clog those ball bearings, and it's something that's practically impossible to clean out of there once you do it. So, do the first one up top, generate all your sawdust and let it fall down clear, and then do the second one down here, and the sawdust will fall on the floor, and you won't get it inside of your ball bearings. Okay, let me go ahead and get this done. Okay, so you see I've got it laid out in sort of a diamond pattern. So I'm going to put it on here so that the first screw is going to go in the center of the leg itself. And I'm going to mark that here. Then I'm going to mark the sides, the outer point. And then, once I get those done, and this is difficult to do because of that wheel, I'm going to do the lower one. So that gives me markers for where I want to drill. And so I've just got a, I think this is a 5/32 bit. I just measured it up against the screws that came with these wheel sets. And I just want a pilot hole started. I don't want a deep, big hole. So I'm going to drill out here first. And we'll go down here and do this one. Then take our first wheel, and I'm going to put the top screw in first, and they come with the screws and washers to go with them, and we'll go ahead, and I'm just going to get that in there a little loose so that I can swivel it as needed, and we'll get one over here done. Sounds like I need to change out my battery, doesn't it? It's also good to have several batteries around when you're doing projects like this. Okay, and then we'll move this up out of the way and pop a screw in down here. Okay, so I've got the first one done. Let me go ahead and do the one down here now. Now these modules are going to be butt up against one another at the center here. And if you have a set of wheels over here and over here, when they move, they're potentially going to bang into one another. And that interference is going to be a problem. So what I do is I move this one down to where it's centered 3 inches. And when they move, they're not going to interfere. So that's something to be aware of that I found out after the fact and had to reinstall half of my wheels on the previous set of modules. Okay, so what I found is come in 3 inches. And that will be your first screw, like that. And then I'll put this one up, and we'll go to marking it. There. Okay. And now I'll drill my holes, my pilot holes for the screws. There. And we'll get this last one done down below without any sawdust getting into the ball bearings. And the last screw on this side. Now, I got these wheels off of Amazon.com, and they're the same wheels as I used previously on the other modules 4 years ago. So I know they're going to be all the same height. They should, you know, the installation process is the same, and they're great. They come with the screws and washers. They even come with a little screwdriver to install the screws with if you don't have a power one like I have here. So I put the name of the company in the materials list, and you can look it up that way. They have a store on Amazon where you can look these up. So, and of course you can use any size or any kind of wheels that you want that are going to actually fit the dimensions of the base here. Another thing that I really like about these is that they have a built-in brake. So you can click that down right there. It's hard to do it with your hand, like that, and that wheel's not going to move. So if you want to set up your modules and then lock them into place, you can do that, and then pop them free when you want to move it again. So, okay, I'm going to move over to the other side and do the wheels over there. Okay, this is going to be the last one right here. I've already marked the screw positions, so let's drill it out. Okay, let's go ahead and get them installed. Okay, that does it. So let me pop it down and we'll see if it rolls. Okay, so the module rolls nice and smooth. We'll do a 180 here, no problem. I'm not going to try to jump on top of it, but I'm sure it can hold up quite a bit of weight. I don't know if it'll hold mine, but I'm sure it's going to hold all of the scenery and the trains and track and everything else that we're going to install here. So next time, I'm going to be drilling holes in the ends of the modules in order to allow wires or cables for our throttle network bus, for the DCC power bus, and for an accessory power bus. In addition, I'll be installing holes in here where I can install a couple of bolts to hold the modules together. Now you could do it with clamps if you want to, but I'm going to use bolts because once I put these together, I'm not going to be taking them apart that often. So a couple of bolts left over from the Piedmont Southern will do the job. And then we will also install alignment dowels. And I've showed you how to do that before, but I want to do it one more time because it is such a good way to align your modules. Okay? So I'll see you here next week with another video from the DCC Guide. Bye now.